Sam, the main character, shares a small apartment in Lebanon with a friend. He frequently focuses on photos of his married ex-girlfriend Abir, still hopeful that they will reunite someday. He works on a poultry farm with his roommate, earning enough money to eat 2 meals per day. They break into art exhibits on special occasions and take the food that is served to the visitors. The receptionist at one such exhibition suspects them and requests their names. Sam has a chance to leave at that point, but Saraya, the gallery manager, starts chatting with the front desk agent. Saraya discovers that he is not on the guest list when she asks him his name a few seconds later. She invites him to stay until the end and take the leftovers home after realizing he came for the food. Sam is touched by the woman's generosity, but he hesitates to accept the food out of embarrassment. When you don't steal it, it just doesn't taste as good. Then Jeffrey, a contentious contemporary artist, is presented to us. He is renowned for using art to represent social norms in an outrageous way. He is also the most expensive artist of the modern era, with each of his works fetching more than $1 million. Jeffrey shows interest in Sam after learning that he is a Syrian refugee and a freeloader. He takes Sam to a bar for a drink and says he wants to make art about refugees and their difficulties obtaining visas. Additionally, he learns that Sam wants to visit Belgium, where his ex-girlfriend Abir now resides with her husband. Jeffrey wants to take advantage of Sam by using his plight. Jeffrey responds that he wants to have Sam's back when Sam asks what he wants. Sam has planned a video call with his ex-girlfriend for the day after he gets home, so he is eager to see her. They rekindle their love when they finally see each other after a long absence. Abir and her husband work from home while she searches for a position as a translator. Sam is upset by the news because it implies that she and her husband will be spending more time together. She ends the call just as her husband Zayed enters her line of sight and kisses her. Sam feels discouraged. The only way for him to travel to Belgium after that is by getting in touch with Jeffrey. Later, he calls Jeffrey's attorney while visiting the art gallery. He explains that Sam will have to sell his skin for a large sum of money if he signs the contract. The contract itself contains the remaining clauses. Sam signs the document without giving it much thought, not realizing that his life will soon change as a result of the choice. The image of a Schengen visa is tattooed on Sam's back in the scene that follows to symbolize how toxic the world is for refugees like him. The tattoo has greater significance because a Schengen visa is one of the most challenging to obtain. According to Jeffrey, it is a living art that transcends all boundaries, just as the revolution did in the modern world. Sam arrives at his house that evening with a legitimate passport and visa. He now has it thanks to Jeffrey, who is taking him on an exhibition tour of Europe. Sam and Sarai aboard a flight to Belgium the next day. Sam is overjoyed to have finally met Abir. When he gets to a hotel in Belgium, he calls her but gets no answer. She finally calls him back after numerous tries, and she is clearly upset. Her husband cuts off their conversation after he says he wants to meet her. He extends an invitation to Sam and doesn't forget to say that he and his wife will be happy to receive them. Sam hardly has time to finish speaking with Abir before the call is cut off. The next event is a photo shoot that is completely outside Sam's comfort zone. He tries to strike up a conversation with the photographer, but it just makes things awkwarder. Sam receives Sarai's phone after the shoot so he can take a photo of himself and send it to his worried mother. His back tattoo shocks the entire world and becomes a contentious sensation over the course of the following few days. On every billboard in the city, he can see the image of the tattoo. He is also made to stand still for extended periods of time in art exhibitions where he is the star. The organizers tell him to sit back down if he even stands up to speak to fans. Sam's body almost seems like something he no longer owns. Sam thinks back to his life in Raqqa from a year ago. The presence of his girlfriend, Abir, makes everything better despite the fact that he lives in the midst of the Syrian civil war. They cross paths on a bus one afternoon and Sam learns that Abir has a date with another man that evening. Abir, however, has no intention of getting married to him and has only agreed to meet him for the benefit of her mother. Sam jokingly proposes to her and asks if there is a priest on board. Everyone starts dancing to the song that a man laughs and begins to sing. The next scene shows Sam at home when several police officers arrive at his door and take him into custody. Because he used the word freedom earlier when they were on the bus, they think he is a revolutionary. He is questioned about his true motivations by a police inspector who also tells him in plain sight to flee. The policeman is Sam's father's friend and is aware that he poses no threat, but if found guilty, he will undoubtedly be hanged to death. Sam consequently jumps out of the window and runs to meet Abir when no one else is around. "I always run to meet Abir," he admits. A man and his family have arrived at her residence to set up a wedding. Sam is excitedly running toward Abir when she spots him, but she soon realizes he can't stay for very long. He will actually need to leave Syria if he wants to survive, as the government has labeled him a terrorist. Abir calls the man she wants to marry in an effort to save him. Ziyad is a member of the Syrian embassy staff. Sam is introduced as a classmate by Abir, who also asks Ziyad if there is anything he can do to help Sam clear his name. When they insist that Sam hasn't done anything wrong, Ziyad doesn't buy it. He has to say goodbye to Abir and flee because there is no other option. The next scene shows Sam's sister traveling by car to Lebanon. The guards stop her at the checkpoint to make sure she isn't in possession of any illegal items or people. She is permitted entry once they discover nothing. Sam emerges from beneath the seat, showing that he had been concealed the entire time. He is now a refugee in a new nation without the love of his life, but is at last safe. He is relaxing in his pricey hotel room when a man knocks on his door in the prison. He was dispatched by the government as a representative of Syria. They intend to file a lawsuit against Jeffrey for mistreating Sam and using his body as art, so they need his assistance to accomplish this. Sam, who was furious that the same government now wants his assistance, slams the door he calls his mother when it is getting dark because she is concerned about him. Sam has been portrayed by all of her relatives as a freak who sold his body for cash. He explains to her that they are only envious of him because he has attained the pinnacle of success that they have never been able to. Sam locates Abir's address the following day and goes to meet her. She freezes in shock when she sees him outside the house. He tells a lie about having a regular job at an art gallery in order to obtain a flight to Belgium. Unaware that Abir's husband Zayed is watching them, the lovers embrace one another. Sam acknowledges that she is unable to accompany him, but he pledges to support her no matter what. The next scene shows Zayed bringing Abir to the art exhibit to prove to her that Sam misled her about his employment. She is horrified and concerned for him after learning the truth. Sam is insulted by Zayed, which leads to a fight. Zayed damages an expensive painting by striking it in a fit of rage. While Sam is being helped out of this situation by Jeffrey's attorney, he is being arrested for it. Abir pays Sam a visit in the evening and discusses the day's incident with him in his hotel room. She receives a call from Zayed, who we later learn sent her against her will so that she could convince Sam not to sue him. When Sam learns, he tells him that he is not in charge of making legal decisions. The following day, however, he threatens that if they do not allow Zayed to leave, he will work with the Syrian government to help them bring a lawsuit against Jeffrey for violating his human rights. Therefore, they are forced to reluctantly let Zayed go. Sam no longer desires to help Jeffrey. He attempts to flee by claiming that his mother is ill, but Saraya recognizes that he is bluffing. Once more, he is brought to the exhibitions and shown to everyone there as an object. Sam has a pimple on his back, and Jeffrey notices it and panics. He takes Sam to the hospital to get treated and compares it to his artwork being mistreated. Abir calls Sam at night and inquires about his well-being. Sam, on the other hand, is aware that by bringing her love along, he is only doing her harm. He then ends the call by lying that he has fallen in love with Saraya. He then makes a call to his family, who are grateful that he sent them the money. The family is starting a business that his sister and her husband are in, and there is now enough food for everyone. Sam then discovers that his mother's 2 legs have been amputated. She reveals that during an explosion some time ago, a wall fell on her legs. Sam breaks down in tears as soon as he realizes how egotistical he has been. He spoke to his mother frequently, but only to discuss his life. He wants to go home and regrets never asking her about herself. Sam learns that a wealthy broker has bought him at this point the following day for a staggering 10 million euros. Surya steps forward to respond to a reporter's question about how they were able to sell artwork that is affixed to a person. She reveals that because of the applicable human trafficking laws, they were forced to conduct their business in Switzerland, where they could legally translate their transactions. The scene then jumps ahead to 9 months. Sam is up for auction, and bids are being placed on him. His mind suddenly makes a connection, and he begins to slam everyone. People run away as he laughs as he pulls out an earphone that they mistake for an explosive. He is ultimately put in prison. Sam has gone insane because he is fed up with being treated like a commodity. He initially refuses to go outside when the bail bondsman arrives to bail him out, but when he notices that Abir is also there, he decides to talk. As the official translator, Abir translates the lawyer's remarks to Sam. Her departure from her husband and desire to be with him are also revealed. They have wasted too much time attempting to fix the problems they are facing. It's time for them to start spending quality time together. Everyone is present in the court in the scene that follows. Sam is opposed to bail, but the attorney is arguing for it. The judge then surprises everyone by revealing that Sam's visa has expired and that he must be returned to Syria. Due to the fact that it is a requirement imposed by the law, nobody can change it. The reporters outside ask Sam if he's scared because he's worth millions, but he claims that he is glad to return home at last. Surya watches a video on her laptop a few weeks later. Sam was beheaded by terrorists from Syria for betraying his country. In addition, the group skinned his back and tattooed it, then sold it on the black market. It is eventually located and transported back to Belgium. In the climactic scene, Jeffrey witnesses 2 men attaching the back tattoo to a museum wall. Sam remains an object even after his death. Sam was never killed. It is then revealed he is spending his best days in his village with Abir. The tattoos were fake and Jeffrey put them on Sam because he knew he couldn't keep Sam forever. Additionally, the tragedy of Sam's purported demise raises the cost. Sam and Abir are seen together in the final scene taking advantage of their freedom. That's all for today. Subscribe and like it if you want more videos like this.